Who are the most dangerous Jedi killers in all of the lore? Who did the best, as what was seemingly impossible? Well, welcome back to the archives. The Jedi are powerful warriors that are seldom matched in single combat. The lightsaber is an incredibly powerful weapon in a trained hand, which is extremely difficult to fight against. But what makes Jedi truly formidable is the Force. How does an average person fight someone who can sense the future, sense danger before it happens, move objects with their mind, or even affect the minds of others? Well, friends, there were a few non-Force sensitives who figured out the secrets, and in today's holocron, we are going to be talking about a handful of regular beings who made themselves into something exceptional for the sole purpose of killing Jedi Knights. Before we dive in, we wanted to establish quickly two things. Firstly, this list isn't in any particular order. It is likely difficult to rank these Jedi killers by accomplishments alone. Secondly, this list is not necessarily a cohesive one, but a sampling of some of the most infamous Jedi killers from across the lore. So if we miss a character that you believe should be in this video, we invite you to comment them down below. And if you would like entire holocrons devoted to any of these great Jedi killers, then definitely let us know as well, and we'll look into it. To start off, we have the regenerating bounty hunter known as Durge. Durge was a cybernetic bounty hunter that was employed by the CAS in the very early days of the Clone War. Durge was strong, resourceful, and incredibly dangerous. What made him stand out was his incredibly strange physiology, one comprised of masses of muscle fibers that could mold, grow, and reform themselves extremely quickly. These muscle fibers were able to regrow from any injury, including cauterization from lightsabers and blaster bolts. Durge's abilities, coupled with his cybernetic armor, allowed him to hold his own against almost any enemy. Because of his regenerative physique, he was indomitably difficult to truly kill, and even with both hands chopped off, Durge presented a major threat to his enemy. His most famous encounter was with a Jedi when he fought Obi-Wan Kenobi during the Battle of Munalist, where the Jedi Master almost didn't make it out alive, and had it not been the efforts of Captain Fordo and the clone commandos, Kenobi would have died. Once unleashed from his suit, Durge easily overpowered the commando squad trying to subdue him, and was able to catch a swoop bike mid-flight, wielding it like a club. Durge had no lack of speed either, as he could easily keep pace with skilled Jedi, dodging a coordinated attack from Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin Skywalker. Also, despite being hit with 9 explosive charges to the face, Durge managed to keep fighting Anakin in their duel. Along with these abilities, his armor was equipped with a myriad of weapons and technology. He wielded a pair of blaster pistols and a rifle, as well as a jetpack. His armor sported machine gun gauntlets, which fired spikes, wrist-mounted flamethrowers, a spiked flail, dart launchers, and energy shields capable of blocking lightsabers. All of these tools were put to great use when he was fighting his personal war against the Jedi. Despite being most popular in the Clone Wars, he actually has been in the galaxy for almost 1500 years, apparently having fought on the side of the Sith during the War of Light and Darkness. But once the Sith were defeated in the final battle of Ruusan in 1000 BBY, Durge went into hiding and served as a bounty hunter until the time to kill Jedi arose yet again. Our next Jedi killer was ace pilot Atton Rand. Originally a pilot for the Republic under the command of Revan, he would later defect to Revan's Sith Empire at the start of the Jedi Civil War. While under Darth Revan's rule, he was put through intense combat training to make him an effective Jedi hunter. But what makes Rand so skilled is his ability to capture Jedi alive. His main assignment was the capturing of Jedi so that Revan and his acolytes could attempt to convert them into loyal Sith Lords. Rand was trained in the Echani martial arts, a system of combat that turned one's body into a living weapon. This martial arts style allowed Rand to physically compete with Jedi while in combat, despite not being Force sensitive. But his actually impressive feats come in how he defended himself against the mental tricks of the Jedi. One technique that he practiced made him essentially immune to the Jedi mind trick and probing. This was done by keeping the mind occupied, for example, by imagining playing a card game, or even counting sounds made by his ship. Another technique he used was concentrating certain base emotions, and even lustful thoughts to keep Force wielders off balance when trying to affect his mind. In doing so, and focusing completely on different things, it basically kept the Jedi from sensing his intentions. Rand got so good at this, that he even learned to mask his presence from the Jedi. The entry on our list is another one of Revan's, but this time we want to go in a different direction and talk about the infamous droid, one constructed by Revan known as HK-47. After the destruction of Malachor V by the mass shadow generator, Revan was inspired to seek more subtle methods of defeating his enemy. That is what led him to constructing his own assassin droid. HK-47 was sent throughout the galaxy on his missions, and successfully assassinated countless targets whom Revan had deemed worthy of galactic execution. This included both military targets and then later on Jedi. HK-47 would also aid Mitra Surik in her search for Jedi Masters who survived the first Jedi Purge, and even advised her on techniques to more effectively kill Jedi so that she could better defend herself. It was from these pieces of advice that we understand just how wise and knowledgeable HK-47 was at defeating Force sensitives, specifically Jedi. It was the sole reason for which he was programmed. When faced with a Jedi, HK-47 utilized various weapons, specifically selected to be most effective against lightsaber and lightsaber techniques, such as grenades, sonic screamers, cluster rockets, plasma charges, poison gas, and mines. The sonic weapons, he explained, were useful in shattering a Jedi's concentration, preventing them from using their force abilities. Mines and gas were useful in catching a Jedi by surprise, giving HK-47 the advantage in combat. The droid knew of the Jedi's reputation for sensing danger and sensing the future, and while he doubted the legitimacy of any of this, he still noticed their ability to react quickly to dangers, but also made the observation that it had a distance limit. To avoid this, HK-47 employed the use of sniper rifles to take down Jedi from outside their vicinity. Snipers seemed to be a very effective weapon against Jedi, as Aurra Sing also used this to kill Jedi, including the legendary one Sharad Het. In addition to these weapons, HK-47 attempted to erode the will of his opponents and make them doubt their beliefs, which he found to be an effective method for weakening concentration, disrupting their connection to the Force. Essentially, Revan had built a droid so good at killing Jedi that it figured out Dun Mok on its own. HK-47 also found attacking a Jedi's allies or Padawan to be a very sound tactic, as they would often sacrifice themselves to save an ally. The droid had incredible ingenuity when facing Force-sensitive opponents, utilizing many advantages, even some that the Sith have failed to observe. Next on our list is no surprise, Jango Fett. While he didn't necessarily make a career out of killing Jedi, he more than proved himself as a worthy killer of them, so much so that it made a lasting impact on Dooku. We have exactly 7 known Jedi kills from Jango Fett. The first being on-screen punishment that he dealt to Coleman Trebor at the Battle of Geonosis when he lit up the Jedi Master using nothing but a single blaster at pinpoint accuracy. His other 6 confirmed Jedi kills happened 22 years before this on the world of Galadran. Some misunderstandings and miscommunication resulted in Master Dooku and a squad of Jedi attacking Jango and the true Mandalorians. During the battle, Jango ordered some jetpack air support against the Jedi who were defending the front lines. However, when the jetpack soldiers went up, the Jedi jumped and then cut them in half, including Jango Fett's best friend and his apprentice. A brutal maneuver that killed Jango Fett's best friend. Filled with rage, Jango threw down his weapons and vengefully lunged at the group of Jedi, bludgeoning 6 of them to death with nothing but his hands, armor, and a rock. It was this specific battle that convinced Dooku many years later that Jango Fett was the only possible template for a clone army. The final one on this list literally cannot be anybody other than General Grievous. Besides Darth Vader, of course, this man is the quintessential person that comes to mind when speaking of Jedi killers. Although he is somewhat weaker in canon than Legends, he is still no less impressive as a being. Despite not being capable of using the Force, Grievous was the boogeyman to the Jedi Order during the Clone War. He was literally constructed to counter them, with clawed feet that could grip the ground to resist the Force, cables that could use to attach himself to things or tie Jedi up, and notoriously, 4 cybernetic arms. But none of this would matter had it not been for the training of Dooku. Dooku, who taught Grievous not only how to wield the lightsaber effectively, but also how to kill Jedi, how to stop them, using fear as his greatest weapon to disrupt the Jedi's connection to the Force. The droid general did this marvelously. This was his best work, the best of which was seen in the Battle of Hypori when he stalked his prey, a hungry beast from the shadows, utilizing fear, surprise, and intimidation. Grievous breaks his opponent before he ever engages with them. And because of this, he was the public enemy of the Jedi during the war. The exact number of Grievous's Jedi kills is unknown, but we do have around 49 confirmed Jedi kills in Legends. But according to other sources that you can find, the number is speculated to be in the hundreds. And so, my friends, these are some of the most famous Jedi killers in all of the lore. Defeating a Jedi is not an easy task, but when we see these people work, they make it look simple, which may be the scariest thing about them. So tell us, friends, who in your opinion is the greatest non-force sensitive Jedi killer in all of the lore? As always, my friends, thank you for watching, hit that subscribe button for more Star Wars lore, and have a great day.